Hello, mate.
Hi, Jack.
How you doing?
Good, you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. So we just had Dan in from Manup,
Yep.
and we just had I've just done a podcast, and he spoke about the charity and spoke about the work that he does, and kind of touched on the roots of how it all came about.
Yeah.
Really, really good chat.
Was a good chat. He's a good bloke.
Yeah.
Done some amazing things for men's mental health.
Yeah.
We've both been on his in one of his videos.
Yeah. So his stuff that he puts on social media, these interviews. I think that's a great format that tends to. I think it hits a lot of people with the sort of different stories and sharing. And I think the real thing that we discussed, just a minute ago, was around the importance of talking and being open with one another. And I think that's the impact he's now having on schools.
Definitely. Well, he's asked me to get involved and go to a school with him. I'm sure you'll come along in that as well. And,
100%.
And when I started talking about my mental health and that, I decided that I wanted to be or talk to people the way that I would have wanted someone to come and speak to me when I was going through my struggles as a youngster.
Yeah. So
I think that's important, and it's exciting to be able to. He's impacted a lot of lives with what he's done, and if we can help with that, that'd be great.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah.
What else been going on with you?
Well, I mean, it's just kind of getting back into work. I've been flat out since I come back from Benidorm, and
Been away a bit.
Yeah, I've been away, mate. I come back and I just sort of cracked on with work. I haven't really stopped. Really long shifts and long days, but it's been alright. It's manageable, and like I say, that when my head was at a while ago, and that refocus that I went through, I can now manage myself a lot better. And I've got like the next week and a half to do flat out every day, but that's all right. I've had my goals set, and I've got a few things coming up past that point. So it's all quite manageable. Just need to sort my shit out with my training. I can't seem to get my routine back at the moment.
I went to the gym again today.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah? How you feeling with it?
I didn't do anything. I just looked at it. I did really. No.
Hey, you're getting there.
No, I went in the sea. I had a morning like we had the other day.
Yeah.
Went in the water. Then I went in the sauna steam room.
Yeah.
Done some lengths in the pool, and then I went up to the gym. Do you know what? I actually felt a little bit. It's a new gym. There was only like a couple of youngsters in there. I felt a little bit intimidated. Never felt like that in a gym before.
Did you really?
Yeah, I haven't been in there for a long time. I was conscious of what I was wearing for some reason. Not just that some days I still get that. I don't know why. Yeah, no. But no, got it in there, got it done anyway. But yeah, felt a little bit conscious for some reason today. I'm getting back to myself again. But after the Jubilee, I had a bit of a first time where I've not struggled, like I wouldn't pick up a drink, but a bit resentful to seeing everyone getting pissed and there was roads closed, and I was trying to drive down and everyone was celebrating the Jubilee, and I didn't struggle at any point where I wanted to have a drink, but it was the first time in my sobriety coming up to 9 months where I got a little bit pissed off with it all.
very conscious of it.
And when you're in recovery and that, you don't really get as ratty and annoyed as you normally would. But I suppose I spoke to someone about it, and I suppose when you have a bad day after not having one for so long, it's going to hit you harder, isn't it? I think so. So I think today was just a little backlog on that. Backlash of that. It's all good. I feel good again now, and that is because I choose to talk about my problems these days instead of trying to figure it out all on my own. I spoke to me family, spoke to a couple of friends about it. Spoke to you about it now. Yeah. And moving forward. So
100%. I get that, mate. And I suppose I didn't really get a chance to celebrate the Jubilee. I was long shifts all day, all weekend.
You're on a little brunt now.
I have. It's quite full on, but I don't really mind. That's kind of self-inflicted, really, because we do a lot of shift swaps and whatnot with the managers, and Yeah, just that will come. Obviously, I've had favours done for me earlier in the year, and now I've got to pay it back, and it just means I've got a very long month ahead of me. But
it'll all be worth it because I'm sure we'll be jetting off at the end of it somewhere again.
Figure out something.
We're going to be jumping out of a plane soon as well, aren't we?
You want to announce that already?
Yeah. We're gonna. I've got a fear of heights, and me and Jack have come up with a solution.
It's not a solution, Sam. I told you this before.
I'm going to be gripping on the side of a plane, screaming, "Don't let me go, Jack!"
So the focus of this episode is very much on Man Up. But one of the things we did want to mention is around a conversation we had on the return from Southend last week, which was we were talking about fears and how we manage them and how we deal with things. And from my point of view, I had a terrible fear of heights. I can pinpoint a specific moment in my life where I noticed that I had this fear, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that I had this thing that had a grip on me. So I started to do a few things to help improve that and how I manage that fear. Because I don't think you ever really solve it, as you put.
Me crying myself out of a plane is not going to fix my...
I don't think it's going to
fix
anything.
It might make it worse in hindsight.
It might. However, it's one of them things where you can go, look, I've got a fear of heights. However, I've done this and this. Yeah. So you're kind of you're pushing those boundaries and trying to overcome those things.
It's got really bad over it. I used to want to do bungee jumps and stuff when I was younger. My nan got me and my brother and cousin a trip to go ape for Christmas once, and I realised then I don't like heights anymore. And think when you have kids, you become a bit more fearful of stuff, and I can't even watch people climb up stuff now.
It's just your rationale. I think maybe you've just got a bit more you think more about stuff.
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
We're going to jump out of a plane.
Let's jump out of a plane, so let's just do it. Anyway,
enjoy the episode.
Enjoy the episode with Dan. Man Up. Check him out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the website. Really good charity. So enjoy the episode with Dan.
I'm not going to say peace out this time.
You just did.
Damn it. I'm Sam.
I'm Jack.
And this is Dare to Talk. I had to remember where I was. And today we've got Dan on Dare to Talk. That's a mouthful, isn't it? From Man Up.
Said Dan, I'm like, Dan?
No, I've had too much coffee today.
Day off, mate.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Man Up, Man Up's obviously picking up momentum. It really is. Do you know what I mean? It's doing really, really well.
Yeah.
But my head can't adjust to when I see it being referenced along with lime, minds, calm, and all this. I'm just a dickhead who speaks to people on the internet.
Yeah.
And what I find really bizarre is everyone's, like the school I was at earlier, they're listening to me like I'm like the most profound person who fixed mental health.
Yeah.
Or was trying to fix mental health, and I'm like, all I'm doing is stuff. I'm just doing stuff what I haven't been doing for all this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing. Why
That's
is no
good,
one
though.
else clocked on it?
You need to say something like that during the thing.
As well, I think it's one of them natural things that just you kind of find your place in the world, and I think one of those things you just naturally fall into it sometimes. I think, and people just respond to that.
Yeah. I've been a charity for since June last year.
Yeah, how'd that come about? And how did Man Up come about to start with? Let's go right back because some of my listeners probably...
Right, here we go, let's get the speech going.
Yeah.
Well, it happened on the 4th of March 2019, that's when Keith Flint died, when he died. And I remember sitting in the office, because I knew him, I used to DJ with him, and the whole illegal rave scene, don't tell your mates all of that kind of scene. So kind of knew him. Well, I'm not going to claim I was best mates with him, but I just knew him. I've raced around tracks with him because he was into his motorbikes and all of that. But anyway, when it was leaked that he had died, I can't remember who I was in the office with, and they was like, oh yeah, he's committed suicide and all this. So I was like, yeah, no, it's a shame. But they were like, Dan, you don't seem that bothered. I was like, I am actually, because I looked up to the guy. But it's just, to me, it's just normal. And they're like, what do you mean it's normal? I went, I reckon it must be, I think I counted, that's 2019, 22 deaths. These are people who I knew.
Right.
All of them blokes, but tell a lie, one of them was a female. All of them are men. All of them could have been prevented. All of them come out of nowhere. Every single one. And they're like, Dan, that's not normal. So what do you mean? That's just life. And I'm like, no, that's not normal. And that's when I started looking at the stats and all this kind of stuff, and I was just kind of horrified by it. And then I was thinking, actually, do you know what? Something needs to change. And I think that for me, the tipping point was where I thought something needed to change. So I was looking at the suicide rates of men, and this government, I can't get political because obviously I'm a charity, so I'm not allowed to do politics, but back then, I saw a press release saying about how suicide rates are going down. Whoopie-doo-dah, everything's really good, everyone's doing their job. But if you look at deaths by drinking drugs, massive surge. So people aren't, I don't want to be too graphic, but people aren't just doing it at the old school, hanging themselves. They're slowly torturing themselves to death by drinking too much because it's socially acceptable. You've been there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've been there doing drugs and all this kind of stuff. And I've had my stomach pumped and all sorts. Did I want to kill myself? I'm not sure. Would I care if I died? No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Didn't give a flying fuck. No. So do you get what I mean? So it's fine saying suicide rates are going down, and that is a good thing. It really is. But actually, are people just being more clever?
It's a good point, but not only that, a lot of people that have took their own lives have had alcohol in their blood as well, haven't they? So it works both ways. It's a double-edged sword, really.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the tipping point where I'm just like, something does need to change.
Yeah.
And the amount of times, like, well, you've heard this story, like, I used to DJ, man. I was DJing a Ministry of Sound, Bagley's, Camden Palais, Legal Raves, tens of thousands of people every single weekend DJing. And I was like a god. Do you get what I mean? And then I was going home, like, massively depressed, doing stuff I shouldn't be doing, drinking way too much, completely and utterly fucking lonely. Yeah,
do you think that's because nothing's ever enough for us? Like, no, whenever.
Well, no, it might, it might be, but it's just when you've got those demons just sitting around when you're depressed for no reason at all.
Do you reckon that's why you found it quite normal then as well? Because did you had them that way of thinking towards suicide yourself?
No, I think it's just maybe because I was raised in care and all this kind of stuff. Me, it's just part and parcel. It's just the way it is. Drugs, abuse, people topping themselves, and all this kind of stuff. To me, that's just my normal life.
Just happened around you all the time.
But when I meet like the churchy people and like the normal people who've had good jobs, good careers, blah blah blah, the pillars of the community, they're like, damn, that's not right. And that's when I started going, actually, this isn't right. And I think that was also a tipping point for me, where I've now got 2 children. I don't want them to have the same life that I've had at all. My children should not be going, well, yeah, blokes kill themselves all the time.
No.
So I don't want to sound dramatic on you.
No, you're right.
But that's scary, man. It's like suicide's now becoming normal.
Yeah.
And that's not both genders, or all genders, or whatever it is these days. It's terrifying. It's like that's not. It's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it was like 75% last year alone of all suicides were male.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think it was more than that, actually. I think it was closer to 80. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah.
The trouble is that this is the other thing though, isn't it? Because of the whole COVID and all this kind of stuff, I don't want to shelf life your thing, but because of COVID, so much data has been skewed. No one's got a clue.
Yeah.
And even just like depression and everything else, just life's just crap at the minute, and no one's really got a clue why.
Yeah.
Everyone's just in a state of confusion.
Yeah, it's been a rough time, like the last couple of years especially. I think we're all shoved on this rock that's spinning and confused anyway, aren't we? But then with everything that's going on and businesses being put under attack and stuff, it's been even more stressful, and I think them numbers will be even more a shock when they come out. Like,
I don't think they ever will come out, and I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
I really don't. It's just we're living in scary times, and I think the good thing about the lockdowns is, I know we spoke during the lockdowns and all this kind of stuff on Manup. During the lockdown, everyone had one similarity. What's that word?
Similarity. Oh, he's the word.
Singularity.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, so it's no similar. We all had some
similarity.
Yeah, that'll do. Cheers.
That's what I was going to say.
Why am I becoming the words man?
I don't know. Well, you're good at it. You're good at speaking.
That's why you're here.
Is that during lockdown, we were all grieving our normal lives because we couldn't go out. We're all missing our parents and all this kind of stuff because we couldn't visit them. So we all had something like a weird bond where we could talk about it. It's like, oh yeah, I haven't seen Manup for years, and oh, I haven't seen Manup for years. So people are talking.
Yeah.
But now everyone is so busy. So I can feel myself bubbling that one. But now everyone is so busy. No one's got any money. No one can afford to drive the car, and all this kind of stuff. So I won't tell you that I'm having a bit of a hard time, because I know that you've been in between jobs or whatever else. You've got your own stuff to deal with. So I'm not going to burden you with mine.
Yeah, so you think it might have made things even harder for people to talk?
Yeah, without question.
Yeah.
Without question. No, so we'll put this up, because you've got a little girl, haven't you?
2 little girls, yeah.
Well, there you go. You wouldn't tell them all. Obviously, probably they're a little bit too young at the minute.
Yeah.
But you're not going to tell them so, because you don't want to worry them.
Yeah.
That's probably like a really bad example. So
yeah, I'm quite open with my little girl, but I do get what you're saying. I don't know if it's because I preach so much to others about talking that I actually do it with my family myself, but I can understand that other people might find it harder. Yeah.
And I think I count myself quite lucky really for all the lockdowns and whatnot, because my work carried on as normal.
Nothing really changed for you.
Not really. I mean, I just found myself extending all my shifts, so I was just spending more time at work than I was at home, because coming back to home I was just stuck at the house and it's crap. Whereas at work it was busy, something new, everything was new. We had to change the whole regime, the whole way we did things. So that was quite exciting and quite fresh. So we had a lot of new staff coming in, and that was supporting them through something completely different. They're starting in unique times, and I think the team that's come out the end of that has actually been quite close, because at the time we're all in it together. So I had quite a good outlet personally for all of that. But I've got a whole heap of friends, especially some of my friends that worked in London. They were just sent home and told you work from home.
I think what you're finding with it as well is people who have always been strong-minded and run successful businesses, but then their business has been hit. They've dealt with a situation where they've never been in their life before, which is with a bit of anxiety and depression as well. So.
Well, that's the thing. I've said this on one of the things on Manup, and I took it quite a lot of stick by it, because I've said actually, when it was all the furlough, all this kind of stuff, and I'd said in a podcast video, I said, if you're going back to work and you've still got a job to go back to, actually maybe you should thank that director. Because what you don't see is that director's now taking over marketing, they're taking over the accounting stuff, they're taking over absolutely everything. Probably some of them have remortgaged their house to keep that business afloat. And there are people saying, well, you don't know what it's like working from home or not working from home and all this kind of stuff.
I think it depends on each individual company. The company I was working for through the first lockdown were terrible.
Not the best.
They were saving money by furloughing people, getting the same amount of work done with less of us in, getting new contracts in, so putting us under more pressure and just treated. That's why I left. You know what I mean?
So that's just wrong. That's absolutely wrong.
Yeah, some people took advantage of a bad situation. I think some people thought with COVID there's money to be made here, and that's wrong.
Loads of them, absolutely. But the downsides of that is, especially with the whole furlough and all this kind of stuff, there are people who took the piss out. They completely nutty took the piss out of that, and that's wrong. And I hope the HMRC absolutely ruins them up to a point. Probably shouldn't say that, but it's true though. Yeah,
you say what you think. You're entitled to an opinion.
If they took the piss and they abused, it's no different to people claiming benefits when they shouldn't be and all this kind of stuff. Do you get what I mean? If you know what you're doing is wrong. Yeah,
you're entitled to your opinion. I notice you always get worried about what you're saying because you're a charity, but you said, and I've had that. We've had these conversations before, haven't we? Someone's had a go at me once because they didn't agree with my opinion on Instagram, so they've had a go at me saying the automatic defence I get off people is, you're meant to help people with mental health. What's that got to do? So I'm not allowed to have an opinion on something. Do you know what I mean?
I had that. I don't know if you saw a video about a year or 2 years ago. There was one of my friends. She's quite a big thing on LinkedIn. Got 150, 200,000 followers. Blah blah blah. Heavily tattooed, blonde. You can kind of picture, and she looks after herself. But basically, she was getting loads of messages, or a few messages from these blokes like, "Oh, how big's your tits?" and all of this stuff. And because it's one of my friends, I took it quite personally as well, because I'm the one who she acts all the big and all this kind of stuff. But you could see it was really affecting her. So I did this video. I don't think I shared it on Manup. I could be wrong, but I basically said The second you start basically sexually harassing another woman, even if it's just like the sneering, the wolf whistling and all this kind of stuff, the second you do that, you're giving the next man permission to do that on your daughter. On your grandmum, your mum, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. And people are like, how can you say that? It's totally different. I was like, no, well, why is it alright for him to do it to somebody else's mum, daughter, or whatever else? So I did that video, and I had a couple of complaints about Manup. I was like, you're supposed to represent men and all this kind of stuff. It's like, really?
Yeah, you can't win sometimes.
No, of course you can't, mate. You're never going to please everyone.
No.
And that's
why I don't worry about too much what we say on.
Yeah,
and if it upsets someone, then sorry.
Mate, it is what it is. But that's the thing you've got to learn when you put yourself out there, or you become that honest person. You get the people that respond very positively to it because you're being honest and making yourself vulnerable. But then others will be quite defensive. And quite like it.
On the Instagram, I'm 90% of the stuff I put out is positive, and sometimes because it affected my mental health and that as well. And I'd have an opinion on stuff as well when I put it out, and on the slightly negative stuff I was bringing up, certain people would only ever respond to that, and they never respond to the positive. So that says something about them as people as well, I think. Do you know what I mean? So.
You just got to let it bounce off.
Exactly.
It's that whole 80-20% rule, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I've had it before, because there was a video. It was me and Antonio. Can never pronounce his surname. So just Antonio. He's schizophrenic. We were talking about him with schizophrenia and me with BPD. Yeah. And I think I ended the video along the lines of basically we can all be a bit crazy at times. We just deal with it differently. Yeah. That's when there was another charity that was like, I can't believe you said that. Why are you calling people crazy?
Oh,
I was like, listen, love. And I must admit, I think I did say love. I was like, listen, love. But when at the end of the day, I've got more mental health issues than probably 90% of the people that I'm trying to help here. So if anything, I'm more qualified to say that. And we can all be crazy at the time.
Yeah, but I think that's taking something you've said out of contrast, massively.
Yeah,
anyway,
they're not looking at the content of what you've just produced.
If you were saying something in a malicious way,
there's what you've put out, and then they've gone, oh, he said this one little thing here. Oh, that's horrible. What have you done?
Yeah, let's forget everything you've ever done for mental health.
That's the thing though, about running a charity. You can feel like you got a target on your back. And it's just part and parcel, but that's one of the reasons why I put it into a charity as well. Yeah. Because then I've got trustees. So at least then if someone's like, oh, can you do this, and I can say no, and they get all funny. And trust the amount of people that want to be in a video, and you know what it's like. You know that you can't put them in a video. They're just, especially when they've just been medicated and life is awesome. They want to tell the world. They've not told their missus about their mental health. They've not told anybody at all, and they want to use Manup to announce their mental health. Now life is awesome, blah blah blah. But you know, the second you put that on the internet, the one moment somebody puts in something negative, all of their happy feelings, because the buzz is winding down at the antidepressants, blah blah blah. They're like, I shouldn't have done that. So I have to find an excuse to say, actually, contact me in a couple of weeks when you're not on a high, and then we'll have that conversation.
Yes. Quite a smart way of doing it.
I think it's the only way to do it. It's just, that's why we've got other rules where it's just like we won't ever have anybody on Manup unless they've publicly said something about mental health before. Because it's just the only way we can safeguard them as well as the charity.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, I get that.
And it's a hard one. I've had so many conversations where they're just like, oh, can I do a video? Can we do it now? And you know they're on a high. Because their drugs are kicked in and all this kind of stuff. It's Manup is fulfilling, but it's a bloody ball ache at the same time.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, so you're doing some incredible stuff with Manup at the minute. You've just been to a school today, haven't you?
Yeah.
Talked to the youngsters about their mental health.
What school did I go to?
Farlingham.
Yeah, that's it. I know my wife used to go there.
Yeah.
And where else? But that was awesome. I'm starting to lose count of how much. I'm going to drag you along to one of those one day. It's always the same thing. Play that little video. It's just like, what do you notice of the theme? And everyone's saying talk. But the thing what sticks with me is every single time, from young kids to uni, I will ask them 3 questions. Would you put your hand up if you would speak to a teacher if you're having a bit of a mental health wobble? I'm not on about full blown depression. You're feeling just a little bit shit. because it's that setting, no hands go up. Or there might be a few secret hands or a couple of laughs or everything, but I kind of get it. The next question would be: would you speak to would you speak to somebody in your house, family, somebody you live with? Bear in mind, I reckon it must be 1,000 kids I've spoken to on Zoom and face to face and all that stuff. 1,000 in England. Actually, one university was Scotland. I shouldn't have done that because we're not allowed to do Scotland. But anyway, so it must be about 1,000 kids dotted all over. That second question: would you speak to somebody at home to say you're having a bit of a pickle, mental health wobble, whatever else? No hands, except today. Today was 42 kids. 2 kids put their hands up. No, let me repeat. No hands went up. The other question: would you speak to your mate? There's around 30 to 50% depending on most of it. I'd say if I did a sweeping statement of all of those, bear in mind 1,000 kids, probably 30% would put their hand up. And then the other question I'd always do, like the other question is like, okay, who wouldn't tell the person next to them about their mental health because they feel like they're going to tell the piss? Show of hands. Every single hand went up. And the bizarre thing is, they'll always look at each other and go, I won't take a piss out of you. And you just see that ice just being completely nutty shattered. And I still find it bizarre when people are just like, that's like one of the best things I've ever seen do it. And I'm just like, to me, I'm like...
So it's incredibly... I think it's incredibly poignant though, because that for me, I think back to when I was at school.
What does poignant mean?
I don't know. Looking at me.
Sorry.
Good point, I think.
So I think back to when I was at school, and I think that would have been exactly the same if someone had been asking my year group the same questions. Yeah. I think that would have been exactly.
I wish I had someone come in and asking me them questions. I kept everything to myself when I was in school, and even when my mate died as well later on after school, I didn't talk to anyone then about how I was feeling because I didn't want it, and he died from suicide, and I didn't tell anyone then how I was feeling, even my family and that. They knew I was upset and everything, but how much it really affected me, I kept to myself, and I know now from doing what I've done recently and talking, if I'd done that years ago, how different. Well, I wouldn't change anything about my life now, but how different coming through school and everything would have been if I did open up a bit more. It was insane, really. I might even be a doctor now.
Well, I don't know.
Usually I just leave like a long pause and I go, and so on. So we go on.
Dr. Phillips.
This thing like I was saying earlier, it's just like, let's just not forget that one question. Would you speak to somebody in your house, family? Obviously you have to be all PC these days, so you can't have technically say, but somebody in your house, would you speak to somebody? 2 hands. 2 hands went up. And this is what I think I said to you before. I'm just like, we're trying to change stigma or break stigma around men's mental health, which we could say is 20 upwards. And then obviously you've got the women charities who are also doing very good stuff. You've got the other charities just doing the whole sweeping stuff. I'm just like, well, we're just training, educating, whatever, this generation. But actually when we carved it, we've still got another 2, 3, 4 generations where we're in the exact same fucking place as we are now. And what really frustrates me as well is with Manup, I've seen many comments of like, actually you can't believe it, schools is where it all starts, schools is where it all starts. Actually schools are working their asses off. Do you get what I mean? They're really trying. They're not perfect. None of them are perfect.
Yeah, there's a lot in place around schools now. When I took my daughter around to see the high school she's going to, they had a mental health room and someone like specifically for mental health and that. And I thought that's come on heaps and bounds since I was at school. Do you know what I mean?
But the trouble is, the minute they leave the gates and they go home, they're just shutting away again. And we can pass blame to the teachers and say, oh, they're not bringing up our kids properly and all this kind of stuff. But actually, they're not there to bring your kids up, they're there to educate your kids. It's my responsibility as a dad to say to Harry or Billy, are you alright?
And with teachers, it's the same with any other job. You get good ones and bad ones, don't you? So you can't tar them all with the same brush anyway, whatever. But
exactly.
no, yeah, you're right. It is our responsibility to talk to our kids and let them know that they can talk to us. You know what I mean? I'm very proud of my kids. They talk. We have honest and open conversations with each other, and
yeah, and I think that's so important, especially from that young age. That is the important point to educate people.
Yeah.
Because I think about myself. That's only within the last few years where I've really started to be more open about my own struggles and things that I've been through, and it's only within the last year that I've actually opened up to my family about the stuff that I've been through. Because I've kept it all from that reflects back to them kids at the school who were saying that they wouldn't talk to the people in their household. They wouldn't do that. And
why are you sitting like that?
Sorry, no, I'm just asking. It's just as well
we're talking serious stuff.
Just like this, no, it's just
for the benefit of the tape, he looks like the scene from Titanic where Rose painted Jack painted Rose.
I can't unsee that.
No, it's because we're not filming it and I'm just relaxed. That's all it is.
Sorry, that was back in the room. Serious
back in the room. I just think I think when you're that younger generation, they're so important to get that whole that idea of talking and being open about your feelings and how you are. I think that's it's so important. And I think that's the only way we're really going to target this and get that positive response from it.
Well, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. But I think, again, I get there's a lot of parents out there that might be in debt and all this kind of stuff, and they don't want their kid to see it. And I get that. That'd be horrible. I really would. But it's just kids see that.
Yeah.
So kids are never going to speak to the parents if the parents are all stressed out, and life is just one big stress bubble at the moment, isn't it? It really is. I just think we must just.
Yeah, there's so much going on in the world, isn't there?
Just go for a drive. Not that anyone can afford to drive it.
Yeah.
Just do something. Go for a walk around the block.
Yeah.
And so I think I did a video actually where somebody was. Did I do a video? I can't remember. It might have been. It's all merging these days. But said if you really want to have a one-to-one with somebody, don't ever sit facing them. Either sit next to them or go for a
drive. My nan come up with a good idea with the dare to dip thing because I said about I wanted to do a beach clean.
Right, okay.
Is it me nan or me mum?
You should join up with Jason Alexander.
Yeah.
He's a wildlife gadget man. He does all the rubbish walks.
Oh, really?
I can twin you up. Sorry,
do it.
I can link you up there.
Yeah, definitely. But it was my mum, sorry, not me nan. My nan nearly got the credit for it, but she said about putting them in groups of 2 or 3. And she said you'll probably find people open up more to each other when they're not looking at each other and picking up litter and that. So she was onto something there. Good old mum.
Yeah.
Mum knows best.
Yeah, or Nana, whoever it was.
Yeah.
That was me mum, it was me mum.
Yeah. But it is though, isn't it? I'm sure someone said it in the video, I can't think, but it was just like, don't face somebody if you want to have a conversation with them.
Yeah, I've not heard of that.
Sit by side, just don't look at each other, especially if it's about mental health. Really? Or sit next to each other, or go for a drive.
I suppose.
That is
probably makes them feel more comfortable.
With body language and how you kind of de-escalate situation. There's similar things in talk with me job as especially when you're dealing with somebody who's very heightened, very frustrated or very aggressive. You immediately lower your tone. You try and lower your body posture. Just so that they have to bring themselves down naturally to meet you, and then you're on a level playing field, and everything's de-escalated naturally. You can do that just through body language.
Is that how you're trained, is it?
So I naturally do it anyway. I'm quite a big bloke, and I don't like kind of looming over people. I like to sit back like I'm big. It just makes people feel a little more relaxed.
Exactly. It's a bit awkward if I'm honest.
But I do naturally. I always try and bring myself down a little bit, and that kind of ties in with just how to manage people who are very escalated or very aggressive or frustrated or things. You naturally just bring yourself down.
That a lot in the prisons, I'd imagine.
All the time, mate. It's every day. We've got something like that. Genuinely, you get a better response that way as well. But that ties in with having open conversations with people. If you're on that level playing field and you share something of your own, quite often people feel like they can share it back, and that's how you start in conversations.
Yeah. What's next for Man Up then?
Don't know really. I think it's just obviously we're doing the schools and all this kind of stuff, and we're still going to carry on doing the events.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to be doing any events which cost us money until this year's over, because COVID is still very much a thing. Let's not beat around the bush. Like we've done the ROI, the one which is aimed at business, and that done really well. And one of those stories from Briggs Equipment, Rosie, she was saying about how one of her members of staff took their own life, and you could hear a pin drop. And you got to bear in mind there must have been a few multi-million pounds worth of business sat in that old theatre, and all of them were looking at each other like, we've got mental health totally wrong, we need to change this. And that was awesome. But near enough every single person was like, we need to up our game with mental health. And these aren't people looking after themselves, these are people who have got a minimum of 30 members of staff. So that's something I'm mighty proud about on that. Do you just go after the, I don't want to say influencers, but the people with influence. It's also picking up with all the schools and all this kind of stuff as well. So it's just see where it goes.
Them schools, you say 1,000 kids you spoke to.
Give or take,
there's definitely going to be a big number of them that's influenced, and that will have a ripple effect on people that they talk to in the future as well. So you're doing incredible things, mate.
Well, it's getting there. The thing what frustrates me, you got to bear in mind I do marketing for a living, that's how I earn my money. I still do not take any money from Manup at all. I don't even claim expenses at all, just never have done it.
So does it cost you a lot of money?
No, not now it's paying for itself.
Like
this hoodie now Manup's paid for it, but before, for the first 3 years, my business was paying for everything.
Really?
Absolutely, I know, I can write it off from tax and all this, but that's still my profit, which is gone. So I've bent over backwards to get it going. But now it's a charity, he needs to start washing his face a little bit more. And so it's picking up. Even people who like help out fundraising. People like running across mountains, like the Free Pigs and all we spoke about that before. Somebody, he's going to be driving a clapped out Fiesta across Europe. Idiot. Absolutely idiot. He's one of those people who's bought like a £200 Fiesta which has got like 2 weeks worth of MOT.
He's going to do the whole of Europe.
He's going to do the whole lot in it. And do you know what, good on him, and he'll have a right old laugh.
What's he got, like a big Manup sticker on the bonnet?
I don't know what he wants to do, but I think he's going to be doing something. But it's just,
that's awesome though. That's so cool that people
Does
feel.
he know how much petrol costs these days?
No, it's just cheap over there.
But like the fact that he's willing to do something like that in the name of your charity.
I find it bizarre when people are like, do you realise like the impact of what Manup has? I'm just like, there's something in me where I'm like, it's done alright.
I like that young lad you had on who had that weight on his.
That's one of the proudest videos
I've done. Tell them about
Jake.
that. Did you know about that?
Which one was that?
It was the young lad. What did he have on?
Well, do you know what? He walked around with I think it was 20 kilograms on him. And he did that for the whole of January.
To prove that the people are carrying a weight on them.
I was just like, this 17-year-old boy understands mental health more than probably 90% of the country.
Was he one of the kids that you'd spoken to in the school then? Or?
No. He's in a private school.
Really?
And all that, so it's very posh. But absolutely sound lad. Really was. He actually started doing it because one of his he's in a boarding school. Well, one of them got kicked out, or not kicked out, that's the wrong thing. One of them had to go home because they were struggling with their mental health. So they were all trying to work out how they can get through to him. But he was like, you won't understand, they won't understand. So he was like, well, I get you've got a lot of weight and you don't know what to do with it on your shoulders at the minute. So we went and done the 20 kilograms and walked around with that for, I think it was for 23 hours a day. He did all of that. And I was just like, this kid gets it. I'll send you a link if you haven't watched it. I think it's like Learn from a 17-year-old or something. It's on the Facebook page. It's just like...
I was well impressed with that because of his age, the awareness for his age, and that shows that the word is getting out there for youngsters as well, doesn't it? So there was lots of positives in that one video.
I was contacted by a school in Kent. They asked me whether I could get an email to a thingy saying basically some students at the school saw that video and they thought they were going to check on a friend. They went there and literally they found him in the garage and he was about to take his life because of that video. I could say, I'm a founder and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to do it, mate. It's just a platform. It was his idea because of what he was doing. We raised awareness for it. That's like the link. So for me, Yeah, Manup
But it
saves
just
lives.
shows it's saving lives, doesn't it? You should be really proud of it. Like you.
No, I am. I am proud of it. I think there's just something in me where I'm just like, the second I start going, oh, this is incredible. It's one of the top. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
My head just doesn't. It's not about that for me.
Mm.
It's about. I don't give a shit if a video gets 10 views or 20,000 views.
As long as the right person views it, yeah.
Yeah. I literally don't care because it's about. I use Manup's probably my own therapy, probably the same as you with the dip stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's just I just focus on the stuff that I feel like I've missed out.
Yeah.
For all of these years, the stuff I've had to hide, why I couldn't say something, why I couldn't do something, who was or wasn't there for me. I could just use it all through Manup.
Someone that it was Mick that come and done the dip.
Richardson.
Yeah, and he put me in touch with you. That's how we first met. And then I got you to do the dip, and then we got speaking, and you helped me massively because you've been doing this longer than what I'd started doing the dip. So then you sort of told me what to prepare for, and then I said to you I was struggling at one point because I had a lot of people. Like I was trying to solve everyone's problems at first,
I've been there, mate.
You said to me about getting like looking up different charities, and now I do that. If I don't understand someone's problem when they message me, because I can only give them advice on my own experience, because I don't claim to be like a bloody doctor or whatnot. And you give me some really good advice, so and I looked at other charities that can deal with certain things that other people. So if someone comes to me with a problem, instead of me trying to find the answers for them, I can say I don't know much about that. Perhaps these people can help. And I think that was great advice, and that really did take a lot of pressure off my shoulders. So thank you for that.
Well, I think the main thing is, and I've learned the hard way. If you don't look after yourself, and this is to anybody who wants to work helping out with mental health, cancer, it doesn't really matter. If they just want to make a change, that's fine doing that, but you've got to protect yourself. Yeah. If you don't look after yourself, then you can't
help no one, can you? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we had the same mentality. I remember speaking the first time, and what you just said before, I was chuffed with it getting as much recognition as it did Dare to Dip, but I started off with the mentality that if it helped one person along the way, and I was helping myself, if it just helped one person, I'd have been happy with that. That it's helped a lot more people was just a bonus for me. But then now seeing how quickly it's grown, like there's people that come down into the waters and back in work and that now, and it has a ripple effect, and then they keep in touch with me and show the effect it's had on their family. So you helping one person actually helps quite a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, the chain reaction is incredible. Yeah, it really is incredible. Yeah, I think it's also one of those things where sometimes you also have to be quite hard on whoever's approaching you, because if they don't want you to fix it, I'm not a counsellor. Yeah. They didn't know. I've got my own shit to deal with. I'd always try and help anybody else.
Yeah, exactly the same.
But you've got to get to that limit where just like, mate, if I've told you these charities, or the amount of people I've said, you know what, if you're not ready to do that, join that Dare to Dip. They're all a load of dickheads who I probably have said a load of dickheads. I'm like, don't go that way. If you don't want to talk to anybody, then don't talk to anybody. If you want to talk, then talk. Yeah. I mean, they'll probably just have a laugh and take the piss.
I mean, we've said that before, haven't we? But I mean, even some mornings I'll go down there, and I know the guys down there now. They've been doing it since February, but I don't want to talk.
Some mornings I can talk to everyone. Most mornings I can talk to people, but there is some mornings I like to do it on my own, and I'll go up the other end of the beach sometimes. But I'll have a cold shower here other times and I'll do it on my own because I know people are alright. But if someone says I need a chat to you, can you come down and do a dip with me? Then of course I will. You know what I mean? On the days that I'm available. But
what if you don't want to?
If I didn't want to, I wouldn't. At first, I would have done.
Because you would have done it for you,
Yeah, at first I was just trying to please everyone all the time. But now I'm quite lucky that it's picked up the way it is. And there's always people down there that that can be there for each other as well. If someone needed me, I'd probably snap out there. And that's why it helps me as well. I can snap out of if I'm in a bad mood. If someone needs me, I'll do that. But I've had people in recovery, someone had a go at me the other week saying that I'd given up on them. I didn't give up on them, I just stopped ringing you back because if you've got to want it yourself, I didn't have someone dragging me to a meeting. No. You've given up on yourself, don't put that on me. You know what I mean?
It backs up though, doesn't it? If you're basically driving them there and babysitting them there, actually are they doing it just because they're bored and
you've got to
want. Help themselves.
You can't go to a meeting or you can't go down to the beach and in the water for anyone else but yourself. I've had people come to the water and to meetings and that where their wives have sent them or their husbands have sent them down to try and do something about it. if you ain't ready to do anything about your mental health or your drinking or drugging or whatever it is
Exactly.
yourself, and you're trying to do it for someone else, then you're going to end up back at square one, because no one gets better until they're wanting and willing to do it for themselves. Unfortunately, otherwise the whole world would be a healthy place, because people would drag their loved ones to meetings and everyone be cured.
Absolutely. It's what it is, isn't it? It's just we've got to help ourselves as well as others.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah. I think that's something I picked up just from the first sort of podcast we were doing, and the video I'd done with Manup, and the response I had from that, just ridiculous. And that made me think, what I did was right. Do you know what I mean? That was right, because I especially some of the things we've spoken about on here, and I sometimes get a little bit anxious about it. Thinking, oh fuck, have I done the right thing, talking sort of that openly about stuff, but the response I've had has been nothing positive.
Yeah.
You get these little messages from people that I don't even know, just saying, "Oh, I listened to your story, and that's really helped me. That's it's made me feel a little bit more like I'm not the only one." Kind of thing. That
you do get negative stuff every now and then, but like I said to someone on the phone earlier who's just started coming to meetings with me, because everyone when they first come into meetings is worried about what people think. And like, as you know, because you've come into it as well, people only don't care about what they're they're all there for the same reasons anyway. But then further afield, if I cared too much what people think, I wouldn't be able to help. I said to her, "You're coming to a meeting with me tonight because I put something out online. You wouldn't even know about the meetings if I hadn't done that. So if I'm worried too much about what the people that think negatively on it think, then I'm not inspiring others. So you got to take the rough with the smooth and the good with the bad, really. And if someone's going to be negative towards someone for trying to make an impact on this world and be an inspiration to others, then do you really give a shit about their opinion? Because I don't.
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly that. It's just like, because with Manup, we call a spade a spade. But we don't mind offending people. Yeah. But we don't want to offend people. No. That makes sense. Because at the end of the day, it's just like, I've spent most of my life before Manup living, on one hand, being like a near celebrity status DJ. Okay, it was all the rave scene and all this kind of stuff. Well, like, everyone knew my name and all of this kind of stuff. I was one of the best salesmen in the call centre and all. Yeah, I've got quite a good name for doing marketing. But actually, before Manup and before me going, actually enough's enough now, I've been fucking miserable. Yeah. Like, literally like a ghost. Living through society. Now, just like, I'm just going to talk about what I don't want other people to go through. Yeah. And now people like messaging the page, or even me personally, it drives me nuts when they message my personal profile. It drives me mad. Yeah. It is what it is. It's a better made, but they're just like, I've never heard anyone talk like that. I'm just being honest. Yeah. I think probably going on a tangent, so I apologise, but I think that's what's wrong with a lot of services and charities. We've just gone so PC, and we're so scared of offending people, we just don't say anything. Yeah. And that is, do you get what I mean? If you're like an open book, like, the only thing I was worried about when I first came public was my family, but they're all proud of me, so their opinions about it to me, so I don't care what I say now. Your family probably won't even listen to this stuff. My kids, Sam, my eldest one, he listens to some of them. Yeah. My Faye won't listen to any of them now. My daughter fell asleep listening to my dad's podcast the other day. I didn't really check to see if I'd said anything in the phone, but she fell asleep anyway, so it must have been boring. I'll get that. The school and that, and you come up with another idea. Come up with another idea. You've wormed out of the Dare to Dip. When is that? It's on the 2nd of July. You're away. No, I'm in Brussels. Yeah. You just wormed out of that. Yeah, you're sending some people down from there. I'll remind me, and I'll stick it on the whole Facebook. Yeah. Because I have got trustees. What would love to? Oh yes. Fancy dressed in. Volunteering for you. I just happened to be in Brussels. That's things you forgot to go, because that's where you're saying about where Manup's progressing, or where is it going. Someone messaged me the other day. I was like, "Are you leaving Manup?" I'm like, "Not yet." There will be one day when I'm like, I'm done now. Yeah. Because there'll be someone better to move it into a different world or whatever. When you know you've had enough, you'll know. I think it's just, at the end of the day, the more and more, that's my biggest fear, the more and more I talk about mental health, the more stories you hear, the less shocked I'm getting.
You dull your senses to it.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
That can be dangerous as well, I suppose.
The job that I do, like when I first started, the stories that I'd hear from the people that I work with were shocking.
Yeah.
And now I'm 4.5, 5 years in.
Yeah.
I've noticed that with you a bit. Like,
I literally, someone could tell me the most horrific, horrendous things that they've done.
Yeah.
Do not bat an eyelid. Genuinely,
exactly.
and that's. I get exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah.
That. I
I
really do.
think the minute I start feeling like that with Manup, that's when I'm like, game over for me. Pass it over to. I'm not going to say like that because the thing is, I'm not Manup. I started it, I founded it, and blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever. But the charity is now bigger than me.
Yeah.
And that's why I've asked to. Basically, I did a post. I think it was on Manup, but on LinkedIn. Where I said Phil, the other trustee, is going to be helping out a lot more, and I've just promoted. It feels like I've got loads of power there, but it's just I've asked someone else to be a chair trustee because I'm just like I've hit my limit now where it's affecting my life, it's affecting my business.
Yeah, well,
because everybody wants a piece of Manup. I'm like, I need to just start dedicating.
Yeah, well, that's how it happens. It grows, and then you get more people on board. That's the same with anything.
Exactly.
And you've done a great job, and now it's growing. I think it's time you like sat back a little bit and let other people help out. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all, mate. No, you do a fantastic job, mate, and I look forward to Dead, Dip and Manup reuniting again.
I'll get some people down for the second for you, but I'll be in Brussels.
Yeah, lucky you.
You could just FaceTime and like still be part of it. If you're not that bothered. Do you know what I mean? If you're not that interested.
I'll let you come up with that idea.
Cheers, Dan. It's been great speaking to you, mate.
Good stuff.